Dangerous habit, destroying your power, and how to end it today. Hello and welcome. If you are tired of being overlooked, underestimated, and treated like you do not matter, this message is for you. If you have ever found yourself over-explaining to people who do not respect you, you are not alone. I once watched a man spend 20 minutes justifying himself to someone who had already decided he was beneath them. He left smaller than he arrived. You will not. You were not born lacking confidence. You were trained into it. You were taught to be predictable so you could be managed. But there is a different path. 5 centuries ago, a hard truth emerged about power and human nature. The lesson was simple. Master yourself, or be mastered by others. From this point forward, you choose mastery. Today we begin a transformation built on 8 principles that turn a silent presence into undeniable influence. You will learn to transform your inner self. You will build a fortress mind. You will wield strategic silence. You will turn setbacks into fuel. You will silence critics through excellence. You will control your reputation. You will make excellence a discipline. You will become unstoppable. Once you see these truths, you will not unsee them. Once you step into strength, you will not return to weakness. Before we go further, a note for those who are serious about change. If this mission resonates, subscribe to the channel so you never miss a training. Your growth deserves consistency. Your focus deserves a home. Your future deserves action today. This is not entertainment. This is a decision. Here is how we will move. We begin by speaking directly to the part of you that wants approval and apologizes for existing. Then we expose the real rules that govern respect, influence, and outcomes. We replace instinctive reactions with strategic responses. We close by forging a personal code you can live and win by. Every sentence is a step. Every step is a standard. The tone is clear, cold, and decisive because clarity cuts and decisiveness builds. Ask yourself a simple question. Who has been making your choices? The uncertain self that folds at pressure, or the confident self that enforces boundaries without explanation? Every day you feed one and starve the other. Today you stop feeding the weakness that explains itself to the unworthy. Today you start feeding the strength that moves without permission. There is one rule from now on. Your worth does not depend on anyone's understanding. You do not owe explanations to those who test your boundaries. You do not negotiate your standards to buy peace. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is control. When you speak less, you decide more. When you justify less, you lose less. When you act with precision, you gain everything that matters. This series will follow a structure designed to grip attention, wake you up, free you from old programming, and lock in a decisive new identity. We open by striking the nerve of your lived pain so you feel seen. We then strip the mask off the truth about people and power. Next, we hand you clear practices that end the cycle of chasing and explaining. Finally, we seal it with a personal declaration you can act on today. Expect simple language. Expect one message per paragraph. Expect repetition that drills power into memory. Expect a single, uncompromising voice. If you are ready, say this out loud. I refuse to be held back. I refuse to be stopped. Now we move. 1. Awakening the truth. Why you feel powerless. Have you ever wondered why you keep explaining yourself to people who never cared to understand you? Have you noticed how many times you say sorry when you did nothing wrong? Have you felt the weight of putting everyone else above yourself only to be left empty? This is not weakness of character. This is programming. From childhood, you were taught to be agreeable. Parents wanted obedience. Teachers wanted silence. Society wanted compliance. The result: you became manageable. And manageable men are forgotten men. Manageable men do not lead. Manageable men do not command respect. Manageable men beg for it. The truth is simple. Every time you apologize without fault, You teach others your boundaries are negotiable. Every time you explain yourself to someone who disrespects you, you hand them power they did not earn. Every time you give a second chance to someone who already failed, you betray yourself. Look at the pattern. The uncertain self is programmed to keep you small. It tells you to be nice when someone disrespects you. It tells you to stay quiet when you should stand tall. It tells you to keep peace, even if it costs your dignity. But peace without respect is not peace. It is surrender. This is why you feel powerless. Not because you lack strength, but because you keep feeding the wrong side of yourself. Inside you live two voices. One apologizes, one commands, one seeks approval, one sets standards, one explains, one enforces. Which one survives is not fate. It is choice. The world is not cruel by accident. It is cruel by design. People test you because they want to see what they can take. They push because they want to know if you will hold. They disrespect you because you have taught them you will tolerate it. The moment you stop, the moment you enforce, the game changes. Here is the raw truth. You do not need to be understood. You need to be unshakable. You do not need to be liked. You need to be respected. You do not need to explain. You need to act. The world does not reward the man who bends. It rewards the man who holds his ground. From now on, remember this. Every sorry you remove is a piece of strength you reclaim. Every explanation you withhold is a boundary you reinforce. Every silence you practice is a weapon you sharpen. You are not powerless. You are simply waiting to choose the other self. If you are still here, it means the truth is already cutting through the fog. It means you are tired of being managed and ready to be feared. It means you are done playing small and ready to step into power. 2. Liberation. Breaking the cycle. You do not need to chase anyone. You do not need to explain yourself to anyone. You do not need to beg for space in a world that becomes smaller every time you shrink yourself. Liberation begins when you stop asking for permission to exist. It begins the moment you withdraw energy from pleasing others and redirect it toward mastering yourself. Every time you silence the urge to justify, you grow taller. Every time you walk away instead of arguing, you grow stronger. Every time you enforce a boundary without debate, you grow freer. The cycle of over-explaining has been your prison. Silence is the key. Do not confuse silence with weakness. Weak men stay quiet because they fear conflict. Strong men stay quiet because they do not waste their fire on unworthy battles. The man who does not explain himself is not fragile. He is untouchable. His silence speaks of standards that need no defense. His absence from meaningless arguments makes his presence twice as heavy when he does speak. Liberation is discipline. It is choosing respect over being liked. It is choosing boundaries over endless chances. It is choosing clarity over chaos. You do not need to convince them. You need to convince yourself. The moment you accept that your worth is not tied to approval, you cut every invisible chain. This is how you start. Stop apologizing when you did nothing wrong. Stop explaining choices that belong to you. Stop justifying standards that make your life stronger. When they demand answers you do not owe, give them silence. When they test your patience, give them distance. When they mock your change, give them results. The more you practice, the lighter you feel. The need to be accepted will lose its hold. The urge to explain will fade. The fear of rejection will vanish. In its place will rise a man who protects his time like gold, who treats his standards like law, who treats himself as his greatest asset. Say this now. I do not chase. I do not explain. I do not beg. I choose myself. I choose strength. I choose respect. 3. The declaration of power. Becoming unstoppable. From this moment forward, you are no longer the man who bends. You are the man who stands. You are no longer the man who explains. You are the man who enforces. You are no longer the man who begs for respect. You are the man who commands it. Power is not loud. Power is not desperate. Power is quiet, steady, and unshakable. Your silence will speak louder than their noise. Your boundaries will speak louder than their demands. Your presence will speak louder than any explanation. Do not expect the world to applaud. Expect it to test you. The old voices will return. They will whisper that you are too cold, too different, too much. Let them whisper. Every word is proof that they feel your strength. Every test is proof that you are no longer predictable. Every challenge is proof that you are no longer manageable. The man who conquers himself is already victorious. The man who disciplines his mind cannot be manipulated. The man who chooses respect over approval becomes untouchable. You are that man now. Say this out loud. From this moment, I am transformed. From this moment, I will not apologize for taking space. From this moment, I will not explain myself to those who do not matter. From this moment, I am unstoppable. You began this journey uncertain. You finish it unshakable. You began as someone who begged for respect. You finish as someone who commands it. You began as someone who explained. You finish as someone who decides. The time for weakness is over. The time for waiting is over. The time for asking is over. This is your time. This is your moment. This is your influence. Take it.